Hello and welcome to another devlog for DunGenes, the adventure generator that generates worlds and stories with just one click of a button. So, for this devlog I might be speaking a bit of a lower voice because I have recently moved into my summer apartment and I have roommates and I don't know how much they can hear and I don't really want to bother them that much, so apparently the walls are supposed to be really thin. I haven't been able to do a lot for this devlog or for this sprint, so instead I separated it a little bit so that I would be able to do just some small things with the time that I had. You see, at the end of the third year we're supposed to do a thesis work for our bachelor's degree, and I haven't been able to do all of it because instead we finished up our second year project for the Gotland Game Conference, GGC, which is it's this expo that they have here on Gotland where first and second year students, they hand in these like obligatory projects they have to make. And like in the first year you make an arcade game, and in the second year you make a so-called vertical slice. And in the third year you're only supposed to do the thesis, but you can apply for it if you want to. And since our group didn't get to be there at GGC due to COVID-19, we had to do everything online instead. We wanted to apply for the third year as well, and so we did, and we reapplied with our second year game, and it turned out that they wanted us to change the game significantly, so it wasn't just a resubmission. And so we had to spend a bunch of weeks just touching up that game. It was in the second year, it was called Set in Stone, and we had to rebrand it, so it was called what was it? Neo instead, which is the name of the character that you play as. And I will link the itch and all other relevant social media accounts in the description below, so you can check that out if you want to see anything else I have worked on. And we do want to keep working on Set in Stone as well, but so I'm going to have to make smaller sprints for DunGenes, but Set in Stone is probably going to be finished before this project anyway, and we make that in a group, so there's more people than just me on that one. So after GGC happened, I still had to work on moving from my old apartment to the new apartment where I live now. I also have a summer job that I had my introduction week now, just recently, so I didn't really have that much free time. I was still able, despite these 2 months of really hard work on other things, I was still able to do some things. I managed to, like last time I talked about frostum culling the rooms themselves, and while I made a whole algorithm for it, it didn't completely work, and I haven't really figured out why. So I was able to still able to improve FPS somewhat by making a function that checks if any of the walls or floor pieces are on screen. But that still takes a lot of energy, so I only managed to bump up the FPS by 10, which isn't enough. So I'm going to still replace it by some kind of faster algorithm for the next sprint, hopefully. So right now I'm running on, I think it is, let's see here what this is. It's 22 FPS, and in the actual build that would be about 35 FPS. Yeah, I still need to keep working on that. I also finished the vertices on the icosphere. So the icosphere is a type of 3D object that, like, usually when you make a sphere in a 3D program, you get this kind of like 3D mesh that is made up of small squares. An icosphere, however, is a mesh made out of small triangles. So it's like kind of more spherical than the square, like the square mesh, and it also has more of like it doesn't have these two poles that a sphere made out of squares would have. And I use that for rocks. So the rock that is in the first room that this video started on, it has these like equal amount of like equal distance from all vertices, so that it would look nice. In last video I only showed it off like really quickly as a joke because it wasn't finished, because there were like repeat vertices, so if you tried to manipulate them it would look awful, it would look very disconnected, but now that is also fixed. And then finally I made a specific scene in the program. Let me just open that up real quick. So this is the debug scene where I can just press this button here to generate a set amount of or try to generate a set amount of levels, and it will tell me in the side here, on the side here, let's see here, that's, oops, there we go, close that off. It will tell me how many seeds managed to generate levels correctly, and then it will save these seeds that didn't generate correctly, so I can find out why. Essentially these seeds are all bugged, and the reason I made this scene was so I would be able to debug, like find flaws and bugs and glitches faster than if I did everything on my own. And so that's that, yeah. And that's unfortunately all the things I managed to do this sprint. I really didn't have time to do more. But so for that reason I didn't even count this as a full sprint on my Trello. I just called it the 11.5 sprint instead of the sprint 12. However, following today and following the uploading of this video, I will call it the sprint 12. So that is to say, like, I will continue with doing sprint 12 after this. And perhaps now that I don't have university anymore, I only have to finish the thesis, I will have more time to actually write scripts for these videos, because I'm kind of like freestyling it every single time and I feel like there's no direction, etc. But yeah, that's the things I had to say. And thank you for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe if you want, and slam my belly button right there on the screen. And thank you for watching. From me out to the infinite void, over and out.